Welcome to the 2013 KVIE Art Auction, celebrating 32 years of visual arts in our region. More than 250 pieces will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be a part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite pieces. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/art auction. Then, when your favorite item appears, call 1-800-270-6601 to place your bid. You can also interact live with the auction team on Twitter using hashtag KVIE Arts. Remember to bid high and bid often. And now, let the auction begin. Sold.
It's easy to bid on items featured in the art auction. Here's how. Explore the collection online at kvie.org/art auction. Make note of the date and time your favorite artwork comes up for bid, or stay tuned. When a piece of art catches your eye, quickly call 1-800-270-6601 and a volunteer will assist you. Most items will be sold in less than 7 minutes. Bid high and bid often so you don't miss any of your favorite items. Stay tuned for the California's Gold category coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Juried by Pat Mahoney, this category celebrates the beauty of California landscapes in all media. View all of the categories featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction. Bid high and bid often.
Well, good evening. I'm Kevin Smith-Fagan. So glad you're with us for the KVIE Art Auction. Before we go any further, I want to say a special hello to all of our KVIE viewers who are participating in viewing parties tonight and throughout the weekend. Love to hear from you, so tell us about your party on our KVIE Facebook fan page. Tweet about the auction using the hashtag KVIE Arts. And I also want to make sure that everyone knows this portion of KVIE's Art Auction is presented by Mansour's Oriental Rug Gallery. We want to thank Mansour's Oriental Rug Gallery for supporting public television generously and for supporting art in the Central Valley. Thank you so much for your support. All right, let's get to it. Our next collection of art features a true California's gold, Yosemite, the national treasure right adjacent to our region. Let's quickly review the art included in this half hour. All right, up first, item 5A. It is called Yosemite Falls by the artist Jim McMahon. It is a piece of photography measuring 23 inches by 19, framed beautifully by choice framing with a retail value of $300. Then we'll move on to item 5B. It's called Morning at Yosemite by David Sutherland. It is a photograph measuring 16 inches by 20 inches, framed by archival framing with a retail value of $125. Item 5C is titled My Inspiration Point by Gabriella Mishani. It is a photograph measuring 24 inches by 32 inches, also framed by archival framing, and we thank them for their generosity. It has a retail value of $550. Then we'll be on to item 5D, High Sierra Rainbow, Yosemite, by the artist Sandy Follett. It is a photograph measuring 16 by 24 inches, framed by Midtown Framing, and it is a Juror Award winner in the California's Gold section. It carries a retail value of $500. And then lastly, item 5E, River Palms by Gregory Condos. He is world-renowned and a legend. This fantastic lithograph measures 31 by 27 inches, framed by Skyline One Framing with a retail value of $2,400. So that is the gallery for the next half hour. Joining us again is our art auction curator, Dee Neath. Welcome back, Dee. Great to see you.
Glad to be here.
All right, let's get to this one because it's got a really interesting background. Tell us about item 5A. This is Yosemite Falls by Jim McMahon.
It's Yosemite Falls. It's a favorite spot in Yosemite for a lot of us. What I love about this is a palladium print, which means this artist spent about 2 hours pulling this print. It was hand done. If you look at it really closely, it's really crisp and clear down here. It's really crisp and clear up here. It has such a nice nostalgic feel. I mean, not only is it done in a real traditional way, but it's also a very traditional portrait of Yosemite.
Well, it's beautiful, and right now we're looking for an opening bid of $90 to get the bidding going on it, which
That's so
of course
low.
is a ridiculously inexpensive price for a piece of this quality. You talked about it taking so long. It's a photograph, but it was developed in a different way than a traditional photograph?
No, it was developed in a dark room. We're so used to the digital age now where things are done really quickly, and the artist doesn't have their hand in it per se. This is a process that the artist actually has their hand in. It's similar to something that somebody like Ansel Adams would have done. The other nice thing about the palladium print is they're done on beautiful paper and they last forever. You don't have to worry about it ever fading or changing colors or anything like that. It's a real time-tested traditional way of making a print.
Well, tens of thousands of people in our region have enjoyed the Yosemite Valley, have themselves seen the beauty of Yosemite Falls. Now's the time for one of you to pick up the phone, call in, bid on this beautiful piece, and also support public television. Every dollar that we raise goes to support the mission of public broadcasting. And Dee, I know we talk about it during the course of the art auction. This is donated free and clear by the artist.
Right. The artist donated it with the intention of us receiving the retail price. Choice Framing did a beautiful job on this. It's got a nicely weathered sort of antique-y black frame. Kind of reminds you of something that'd be in a cabin up in Yosemite. And then it's got museum quality mats with a little second undermat here to kind of pull your eyes in. I think they did a very good job not overwhelming the piece with the frame, so it comes together really nice as a whole package.
Yeah, and it's just got that great vintage feel, as you say.
Yeah,
it
you don't know if
feels
it was
like
done 20 years ago or yesterday.
And it was done using, the dark room, which is, of course, kind of development
Dark
of
ages almost.
yesteryear. So let's hear from you. Call in, support public television right now. We're looking for a bid at $90. There is a $300 retail value, as you can see there on the screen. So whoever is that first bidder might be lucky enough to get a steal. Let's make you that person. You see the number on your screen, 1-800-270-6601.
And it's Yosemite. My family has spent countless Thanksgivings burning turkeys in Yosemite Valley. We've been snowed in and we got snowed in and they took everybody in the campground up to the Ahwahnee. It's the only time I ever stayed at the Ahwahnee.
Not a bad trade-off.
2 feet of snow.
Hey, let's bounce it over to Heath over in the phone bank. He is standing next to the Rodante Declarador piece, isn't he?
I am. I'm right here next to Rodante's piece. This is Tupac. It's a mixed media piece. It's spray paint on wood. Folks, this is a great piece of our culture. Pop art, think about how you want to inspire your children. This is a piece that you want as a statement piece in your collection. And the way that you get in on the bidding is you call right now. We're looking for a starting bid on this piece of $350. That's against a retail of $1,500. This piece could be yours. Call now with a bid of $350 and you will get the bidding going. 1-800-270-6601. $350 gets you in the bidding on Tupac from Rodante Declarador. That's how you get an auction going, folks. Pick up the phone, put our volunteers to work. We've got plenty of phone lines ready to take your call. Now we're going to send it back over to Kevin and Dee.
Thanks, Heath. We are still looking for that $90 opening bid on this wonderful piece, Yosemite Falls. Dee, one of the things I know you like about it is the incredible care he took applying light.
Yeah, one of the nice things about this is it has a nice, the light runs all the way through the center. The darks are nice and dark, the lights are nice and light. It's just a beautiful traditional print. I can't believe we're not getting a ton of bids on this. I'm a big Yosemite fan. If I was allowed to bid, I'd be bidding on this piece right now.
I know, and so many of us have wonderful memories from our visits to Yosemite, and this is a great way to transport yourself back to Yosemite whenever you like by bidding on that piece. Meantime, to stay on schedule, we are going to walk down the line. The bidding remains open on Yosemite Falls, but we want to introduce you to item 5B, Morning at Yosemite by David Sutherland. Right now we have, hey, I wanted to confirm we did get that $90 bid on item 5A, so that's good to see that there's movement there. We also have a $50 bid already on Morning at Yosemite. It's got a $250 retail value. And Dee, Tell us what you like so much about this piece.
What I love about this piece is this photographer has really treated color photography more like a painting. He's really gone after this soft, well, we all know about the mist, but the soft, misty feeling right here. I'm not sure about the perspective. I don't know if he's standing in the water or perhaps on a boat. I mean, I've been to Yosemite a million times and I've never had this, or maybe he's fly fishing, I'm not sure. But there's snow, it's just a really nice, warm piece. It's by David Sutherland, who is a photographer here in the Sacramento area, and he tried to capture the early morning in December, and I think he did a good job.
Yeah, one of the things that we've talked about many times is what a piece of art makes you feel. I've been at Yosemite early in the morning in the spring, and you can tell it's the spring because there's still some snow on the ground, and yet the falls have a good flow on them. So you feel that crispness in the air, you feel the stillness, the wildlife is starting to come out. It's when it evokes emotion like this one does for me that you know you have a really wonderful piece of art.
And it's one of those times, and it happens to us in Yosemite is so crowded and there's so many people there, but every once in a while you stand in a place in Yosemite and you feel like you're the only person that stood there. And this piece kind of does that for me.
It really does, and people like it well enough that we've got a high bid right now of $150, and we're looking, I believe, for $175 is the next bid increment on the way to the retail value, which is $250. Dee mentioned it, but it's worth reminding folks, the artists donate these pieces, and what they hope for is for KVIE to get the value of their work. It's their contribution to support the mission of public television.
And this is something they could have sold in a gallery, but they chose to let us sell it in our gallery. I do want to mention that it has a beautiful olive wood frame on it that's got a little bit of distress. It's imported from Italy. It kind of brings out the trees, and I really like that part of it.
Well, we have the good news of the distraction of the bell ringing. That means that Yosemite Falls item 5A hit the $300 mark. That is the current high bid. 5B, I mentioned the current high bid, as you can see, is $150. We're looking for a $175 bid. That will make you the leader and perhaps the next person to own this really just profoundly lovely image of what it's like in the stillness and the peace of one of the most beautiful places in the entire world, is Yosemite Valley.
You'll notice that we're doing this whole Yosemite half hour because we did get quite a few of the Yosemite pieces. David Sutherland does have a website, davidsutherland.com or davidsutherlandphotos.com. We encourage you to go on our website. You can click on the artists and learn more about them, kind of give yourself a little education about the valley, and you can also learn about the other work that the artist does. Thank you, David, for giving us this beautiful piece, and let's try to get it up there to the retail value.
If you like the piece, call in and make your pledge of support. We're raising money for public television. The art's fantastic. The artists themselves are so incredibly generous to KVIE. Then it's up to the viewers and the folks who like this art to call in and be generous with their contributions, which, of course, also gives them the great treat of owning a wonderful piece of art like this one. Item 5C, My Inspiration Point. The artist is Gabriella Mishani. Dee, Archival Framing, did a terrific job with this one as well. It's got a retail value of $550, and we have, I believe, a starting bid. We're looking for $165 as that starting bid. It is... it's just an incredibly beautiful look down the length of the Yosemite Valley.
Yeah,
how does she do that? How could she do that?
It's really stunning. This is sort of the opposite of the first piece we saw. This is the best of new technology. This is HD photography, which means it's crisp, it's clear, it's actually images layered on top of the images. So you're seeing it better in the photo than you could see it if you were standing there, because you can see every little leaf up here, and we wouldn't be able to see that if we were standing in the valley.
Well, as you say, it's exquisite work. I love the way that it pulls you in, and it's, you know, your eye is led across the valley, and you see Half Dome sort of profiled there in the distance.
And this piece is currently up in one of the Auburn galleries. Gabriella is a fast rising photographer. People are just swooning over her work. So it's your chance to swoon over your phone and give us a call.
So start swooning. 1-800-270-6601. We're looking for that opening bid of $165. You might be the next owner of this wonderful piece of art.
It's a chance to own a rising star right here on KVIE.
And just such a beautiful image of a beautiful, beautiful place. I should take a moment to compliment you. Archival Framing did the frame job, and you did just a gorgeous job. Did you pick the
No,
green?
actually, Nicole was the designer on this one. It's got a nice green linen mat, so it has sort of that organic feel, and then the white pops the white in the mountains. So it's done just like a museum piece. It's ready to go home and hang on your wall.
So it's ready to do that. Meantime, I want to bounce it on over to Heath. He's in the phone bank, and it looks like he and Mary Ellen have something they want to chat about.
Well, I'm over here with Mary Ellen Lane. She's not only a volunteer tonight helping us move art, she's also an award-winning artist who has a piece in this year's collection, so you want to stay tuned for that. But right now I'm here with David Sutherland's Morning at Yosemite. Now this is a very special break, this half hour. All of these pieces inspired by Yosemite. It's been in the news quite a bit lately, and so we want to make sure that it's celebrated. This piece right now has a bid of $150 on it. We're looking for you to come in with a bid of $175 and be the next high bidder on this piece. 1-800-270-6601 is the number to call, and you can take this beautiful piece home and make it part of your collection. Now is the time to do it. Let's get our volunteers on the phones, make the phones ring, and let's make this an auction. Now we'll head back over to Kevin and Dee.
All right, thank you, Heath. The bidding on this piece, My Inspiration Point, has now risen to $200. We're on our way toward $550, which is the retail value of the piece, and it's what Gabby intended when she donated that piece. It's called My Inspiration Point. Many people who are enthusiasts of hiking around Yosemite will recognize the turnoff. There's that tunnel, you go through the like the cave tunnel, and then you park right there and you hike up, and this is the view that you get. If you're one of those people who has enjoyed the profound beauty and been moved by the Yosemite Valley, call in your support right now. Meantime, we are strolling on over to the next piece in the collection. The bidding will remain open on My Inspiration Point, and is still open, in fact, on Morning at Yosemite as well. So pick up the phone, call in your bid for one of those, or for High Sierra Rainbow Yosemite by Sandy Follett. It's a 16 by 24 photograph. Midtown Framing did a terrific job. And this one, Dee, won a Jurors Award. Talk about what you think made it stand out.
Well, what was so nice about this one winning the Jurors Award is it won the Jurors Award in the California Gold category. So it was a painter. Pat Mahoney was the juror, so a painter chose this. It wasn't chosen by a photographer. She loved the colors, the play here with the reflection, and what I really liked about it, and what I think that Sandy did was so amazing, is she captured a moment. I mean, that rainbow was not photoshopped in there. There was nothing, there's nothing fake about it. It's just a beautiful, glorious moment that she just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, she certainly was, and you are in the right place at the right time now watching, because you can be the next owner of this piece. We're looking for an opening bid of $150. It's a $500 piece, so every dollar goes to support public television, but if you happen to be the one who steals a bargain, you win. KVIE wins, and again, we thank the artist for her generosity. It's wonderful of Sandy to do that. This looks to me like it's up sort of in the Tuolumne Meadow area of Yosemite, so it's up high above the valley where there are those beautiful scenes, and of course that's where the rimfire was attacking. Yeah,
thank goodness we didn't have to wear little fire helmets for this.
Well, that's a very good point you raised. Is there snow? Did you find snow?
Yeah, there's little snow back here. What I love about Sandy's work, Sandy has been a professional photographer for 30 years. So this is your chance. Maybe you don't have a lot of photography.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but you look at the camera zoomed in, you saw just the beautiful shot. That is a real rainbow, as you mentioned. That was not manipulated in. That's not photoshopped. She caught that moment of beauty at Yosemite. And
it's breathtaking.
It is breathtaking.
You can see she's been a professional for 30 years. She's an award winner. She's donated quite a bit to the KVIE Art Auction, so we'd like to thank her for that. We had a caller earlier ask if we had anybody from Cosumnes River College that did anything. Sandy has studied there quite a bit, So there's that connection.
So there you go. There's
There
that
you
local
go.
connection. We have a bid, by the way. The high bid right now is $175. So we're looking now for a $225 counter bid. That would make you the leading bidder on this piece, High Sierra Rainbow Yosemite. Meanwhile, let's see what's going on over in the phone bank.
Well, I'm going on over in the phone bank. I am next to Gabriella's gorgeous photograph called My Inspiration Point. Again, we are celebrating Yosemite in this entire break, and what a great way to celebrate it. I feel like I'm standing there, right? You just feel the moment and the air, the crispness from Yosemite. If you've ever been there, this is truly an inspirational vista. If you've never been there, you can have Yosemite as your window to the world when you add this piece as part of your collection. I had the privilege of meeting Gabriella at the preview gala. She was so excited to be part of the collection this year, and you will be excited when you take her piece home and make it part of your collection. 1-800-270-6601 is the number to call. I also want to mention 5B Morning at Yosemite. We have a couple people on the line for that, and we are going to close that item in just a moment. So if you want it, now is the time to place your bid. All right? There's your call to action. Get to it. Let's head back over to Kevin and Dee.
Thanks, Heath. The bidding right now is at $200. We're looking for a $250 bid on High Sierra Yosemite. Dee, we've talked about it before. There are so many people who have a strong emotional connection, a family connection, a spiritual connection to Yosemite. And so when you've got this hanging on your wall and you're having a lousy day, it's pretty nice to be able to look over and see the stillness and the beautiful rainbow and brighten your moment.
Well, and what a beautiful gift. You know, if your family, like my family, gathers in Yosemite every couple years, if Yosemite, maybe you went there on your honeymoon or something like that, you know, art makes a lovely gift. It's something that always is treasured and passed down. It's better than the iPhone 5.
Well, you know, the iPhone 5 has its merits, but it could never be
as beautiful
the beautiful feeling you get when you're in an incredibly beautiful place. And it's a beautiful thing, I should add, that the bidding is up to $250 right now. We're looking for a $300 bid to become the leading bidder on this piece, which still isn't even close to the retail value of $500.
Yeah, you can't walk into any gallery and buy this piece for that price. When the artists give us this work, they could have put it in the gallery. They could have gotten the full price for it. They want us to have it here at KVIE.
Do you like the choice of a white mat with it looks like 3 inches on each side?
Yeah, I like the fact that it's nicely balanced. I like this. I kind of like the traditional black and white. You know, the black and white. It's in a really nice, what we like to call a gallery frame. It's clean. It's simple. It can go anywhere.
It can go anywhere, and I could see it in somebody's office. I mean, after all, that is where we get lots of our headaches during the course of the week. And transporting a little escape to the beauty of the Yosemite's High Sierra is not a bad idea. Hey, we're at $325, so the bidding keeps moving on. And let's you and I move on, too, to the next piece. It is the final piece in this half hour, item 5E. It is by the one and only Gregory Kondos. It is called River Palms. It is a lithograph. It measures 31 by 27 inches, was framed by Skyline One, so thank you to Skyline One. It's got a retail value of $2,400. Right now, the high bid is $700, so we're looking for an $800 bid to put the next bidder in the lead. Dee, where to start with Gregory Kondos?
Gregory Kondos, we could just stand here and the painting should be able to sell itself. Gregory has always been a big supporter of KVIE. He's appeared on both the Rob on the Road, and he's been a juror at the KVIE Art Auction. His work sells out so quickly, and it was so nice of him to make sure that we got a really nice Sacramento image. This is an artist proof. This is number 3 out of 20. So there's only 20 of them, so it's not a big edition.
It is so beautiful, and it's a lithograph. Now, I don't know a whole lot about art. There might be some folks like me at home who need to be taught. What's the difference between a lithograph and a poster, for instance?
Well, this or giclée. This was not spit out of a computer. It was actually done. The artist matched the colors. It was printed with a plate on a really beautiful paper. So it's a museum quality image. Gregory's very particular about his printing and kind of oversees it all. It's been framed in a really nice gallery frame that kind of gives it the appearance of looking out a window. Gregory has the gallery named after him at Sac State. You know, he is a Sacramento institution. Almost every major corporate art collection has at least one of his pieces. So this is kind of a crowning jewel thing to have in your collection. You know, your collection really isn't complete without a Gregory Kondos piece.
Well, somebody is going to be the owner of this piece very soon. The bidding is at $1,100. We're looking for a $1,200 bid, and I think pretty soon we're going to watch the bidding catch fire on this because...
Oh no, and it's such a good size.
You know, and we've talked about Gregory, we've talked about his reputation, we've talked about the value, we've talked about what a great friend he's been to KVIE. He's a big fan. But we haven't talked yet about just how darn pretty the image is.
Yeah, Gregory just, there's a school of Sacramento artists that bring in, and Tebow's one of them as well, and people that we're showing later on in the art auction. There's a blue in the rivers of Sacramento. It's such a celebration of the trees in our region and this beautiful blue river. It makes you homesick if you're not here to look at something like this. Gregory, again, is an internationally known artist. He's one of the biggest artists we have here in the auction and in the Sacramento region.
That Sacramento has ever produced, really.
Right. You know, he had a retrospect recently at the Crocker Art Museum. So he's a very important contemporary artist of our time. And here's a chance to own an artist that books are written about, that your children will study in art school 15 years from now. You know, it's a classic.
Well, the bidding went from 11 to 12 and then 13 counterbid right away, so we'll see what happens. It's at $1,300. We're looking for your $1,400 bid right now. It is a gorgeous piece. It's called River Palms, and on your side of the image you can see the river palms.
Yeah, the river palms are up here. It's a very painterly image. I love this bit of purple in here. It's a classic image for Gregory with the greens and the blues. His horizon line is always amazing, the little hint of the building over here. I'm sure somebody knows exactly where that was.
All right, we're at $1,500, now $1,600. The bidding is moving. Let's throw it over to the phone bank to see what the latest is. Heath, take it away.
Well, I'm over here with Sandy Follett's piece. This is High Sierra Rainbow Yosemite, and you can see the rainbow right up there. How gorgeous is that? Photography is a wonderful category, folks, because it can really transport you somewhere where you have never been before, or it can remind you of a place that you've been that you really cherish. So you can take this piece home as part of your collection as a reminder for yourself, or you could give it to a friend as a gift and make art a part of their collection as well. Now, the nice thing about this piece, it's an edition, a limited edition of 30, as with which is a requirement for photography in our collection. And this is one of 30, so you're getting the very first one, folks. It's also hand signed by the artist on the mat, which is really important for all of the photography that we present in the auction. We have a bid of $325 on this. We're looking for you to come in at $350. The way you do that is to call the number on your screen, 1-800-270-6601. Be a part of our art auction. Now let's send it back over to Kevin and Dee.
Thanks, Heath. The bidding's at $1,900 on River Palms, so we're starting to get close to that $2,400 that Gregory Kondos intended when he gave this fantastic piece.
And I would like to see this be a bell ringer, because Gregory is usually always a bell ringer.
$2,000 and moving.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Gregory Kondos. Like I said, it's a big focal point in your home, and it can be the jewel of your collection.
All right, so let's hear from you. See, we heard some of the phones ringing right there. I just want to take a moment and thank the AOC volunteers. They're here donating their time late on a Friday night. They're doing their part. Gregory Kondos has done his part. The whole crew is here doing their part. We're all doing it to support public broadcasting. If you're the one who's outbid by $100 right now, Why not go to 2100? Every dollar supports the mission of public television. That means that every hour of every day of the year, you can turn to KVIE and find something worth watching. It is worth kicking in another $100 or another couple $100. And, oh, by the way, you get to be the next person who owns this tremendous lithograph.
Do it for Doc Martin.
There, if for nobody else, do it for Doc Martin. We're at 2,200, and so we're drawing ever closer to breaking that $2,400 mark, which is going to be a very exciting thing
And
right here in this.
let me bring this up
studio.
too. This is an investment piece.
It is 2,300, by the
You
way.
know.
It's we got some excitement going and an investment piece.
Yes,
Tell them why they want to own this for like 25,000.
Yeah.
There's the bell ringer. We're at 24. That means we've met the artist's stated value, but it doesn't mean that we have to stop the bidding. It is a good investment. Talk about that.
You know, Gregory's work years ago, you probably could have bought this piece for, you know, $600 or $700. Why not put an investment on your wall?
Because he's
something you
appreciated.
enjoy. Yeah, his work goes up every year. He's widely collected. He's widely respected. He's earned his stripes, as we like to say. This isn't a new artist. This isn't an emerging artist. This is a proven artist that's a good investment.
Yeah, and in some ways, we've been taking it for granted that people are familiar with the huge reputation
Right.
of Gregory Condos, but for people who aren't familiar, this is a world-renowned artist who is a product of our region, and he happens to be a great friend to KVIE. We're eternally grateful to him and to all the artists who have talent the rest of us don't have.
I know. I can't
And they
draw
share
flies.
it with us. We're so grateful. We're looking for that 2,500. We're sitting on 24. Let's get to that $2,500 bid and you can be the next leading bidder. Meantime, I do want to continue thanking all the generous bidders who have called in their support for KVIE and the artists and the volunteers. Let's take a moment to watch this piece.
Stay tuned for the California's Gold category coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Juried by Pat Mahoney, this category celebrates the beauty of California landscapes in all media. View all of the categories featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction. Bid high and bid often.
Inside Mansour's gallery are 5,000 Oriental rugs, and every single rug in Mansour's Oriental Rug Gallery is woven exclusively from pure wools and silks, knotted by hand at up to 2,500 knots per square inch. For a beautiful home in a beautiful world, Mansour's Oriental Rug Gallery in 2 locations. Our showroom in the Roseville Galleria Shopping Center and on Fair Oaks Boulevard near Monroe.
I like the music. That was fun. Hey, we're back live. This is a live broadcast, the KVIE Art Auction. We're hoping that you will join in the fun by calling in your support. We're going to make it worth your while because we have some tremendous art to show you. Let's quickly review all the art that's up in this next half hour. We're going to start it off with item 6A. You see it there on the screen. It's called Target Practice by Judy Kristen. It's an acrylic on canvas. It measures 16 by 20 with a retail value of $300. Then we'll move on to item 6B. It's Delta Gold by Judith Perry, a beautiful pastels piece. It's 15 inches by 19 inches with a retail value of $350. Then it's on to item 6C, Sonoma Landscape by the artist Ron Oshima. It's an oil on canvas, and it measures 24 inches by 36 inches with a retail value of $650. And by the way, it won a Juror's Award. We will go then to item 6D, California Seascape by Joyce Mayer. It's a watercolor. It measures 31.5 by 40 inches, another good-sized piece with a retail value of $900. Then it's item 6E, Early Morning on the Lake by N.W. Sloan. An oil on canvas. It measures 16 inches by 20 inches and has an artist's retail value of $450. And then the last item of the evening, item 6F, California Gold in Memory of Huel by the artist Gail Rappaport Weiland. It is an acrylic on board. It measures 12 by 16 with a $750 retail value. Now, before we get to the this new set, I do want to report back that the bidding is still open at $2,600 on River Palms. It is not too late for you to jump in. Every dollar supports public television. I'm Kevin Smith-Fagan, joined by our curator for the art auction, Dee Neath. Dee, welcome back for more art auction fun.
And thank you, everybody, for staying up and watching us.
Yeah, we're having fun. We hope that you're having fun, too. Okay, let's get turning our attention to this one. It's called Target Practice. And what exactly is in Judith Perry's piece here? Explain to us what Target Practice is.
Well, this is Judy Kristen, who is a local artist here. She's also really well known in the Carmel area, so she's kind of moved into Sacramento recently. It's called Target Practice because it's her friend's property, and these are duck shooting targets. You know, to practice with like a gun, out in the middle of the woods. So it's got kind of a nice rustic, with the gun.
They found that a gun works best.
Well,
yeah.
You can use a bow and arrow.
Well, that's a very good point.
Yeah, I was saying, because that's why the targets are so small. Anyway, it's an acrylic on canvas, and she did a beautiful job capturing the sort of California fall sort of light coming through the trees. And she framed it herself, and I really like the frame that she picked for it as well.
An original piece of California art about our region by a local artist, and the starting bid is only $90. Let's hear from you. You know how this works. You pick up the phone, 1-800-270-6601. You tell the volunteer what your bid is, so we're expecting that opening bid will be $90, although you're certainly welcome to make it higher if you like. And those great volunteers from AOC, they're waiting to hear from you, so please call in your support right now. It's interesting how she kind of muted the colors.
Yeah, it's definitely very painterly. It's not an incredibly realistic thing. It's sort of got that impressionistic flair. It's one of those pieces that from across the room, it shows incredible detail. And the closer you get, you realize the looser she was with the brush. So there's just the suggestions of the shadows, not super realism. She's got colors just layered and layered and layered in here. She does a lot of plein air work, which means she works on site, which is very difficult to do. I mean, I can't imagine dragging all my paints out and being able to work outdoors.
God bless her, because she can, and she does it so well.
And she did a really good job capturing the light on this. Again, she shows in the Carmel area. She shows here in Sacramento at the 2110 Gallery in Midtown. So her work is available locally, but what's more important is her work is available right now.
Now, I want to ask you, do you consider it a guy's piece? I mean, it's target practice. It's about hunting.
No,
There's a lot of hunting and fishing that
I know,
it's a big part of our region.
Kind of a man cave thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But you know what's funny is when she brought it in, I didn't even notice that these were targets. This just looked like a beautiful soft landscape with, a little post that's got something on it. It kind of is a two-sided piece. It's a real traditional landscape, but then at the same time, it definitely does have a little story in it as well.
Well, it's two-sided, but unfortunately, the bidding war right now is no-sided. We're looking for that starting bid. $90 is really, really an easy entry point for an original piece of art. It is very pretty. It's got a terrific use of color. It's an image from our region, and you've got your hand on the frame. You're going to talk about this cool frame, aren't you?
I like the rustic frame she put on it. It's a really good size for a piece. It's not, I have to move 900 things to make room for it. It's the type of piece that you can find a spot for. It would be great up in Tahoe or up in a cabin type thing. It would also be really nice in an office or, like I said, in a man cave.
All right, well, the bidding will remain open on item 6A. That's Target Practice by Judy Kristen. We're going to move on to item 6B now so we can stay on schedule. It is called Delta Gold by the artist Judith Perry. This whole half hour are pieces dedicated to California's gold. These are images of our region, and this one is a spectacular example.
This was one of those when Kevin and I, before we go on air, we kind of look at all the artwork. And the minute Kevin saw this piece, he wanted to bid on it, but we can't bid on it when we're on air.
I love that sound.
I know.
That's a bell ringer. That means that one of the pieces that the bidding was open has reached that artist's retail value. We are having so much fun. That was item 6C that made that happen. So that is terrific news. That's Sonoma Landscape. We haven't even opened the bidding on it yet, and it's already reached its artist stated value. So we all have that to look forward to. There is drama ahead. But first, let's enjoy Delta Gold. We've got a high bid right now of $150. We are looking for a $200 bid to be the next highest bidder. And you said, as you mentioned, I fawned all over it. I fell in love with this piece because it draws me in to the stillness in the piece. When a piece of art makes you feel something, it's obviously a strong piece.
Yeah, and for a small piece, to make you do that is even better. What I love about this piece, it's pastel on sandpaper, which is a very difficult medium. The thing that Judith has done so well on this is she's layered the pastel, so it feels like there's light bouncing off of that water. The sandpaper is a really nice surface to work on because it's real toothy and you can get a lot of pastel on it. But what's also really nice about it is that it holds the pastel really well. The artist has framed it herself. She's used a real traditional silver gold gallery frame, which I think is perfect with this. It's just a really sweet, serene little meditative piece.
Serene is exactly the right word. When I look at it for a few seconds, I start to feel peaceful. And I don't know anybody that couldn't use a little bit more of that in their lives. So we've got that high bid of $150. We're looking right now, I believe, for a $200 bid. That would make you the leading bidder on Delta Gold. It's exquisite is a word that comes to mind.
No, her technique is amazing. I'm a big fan of pastel, partly because pastel is so difficult to work with. Any mistake shows up. So every mark has to be perfect and made intentionally. And she's just done an amazing job of blending in the different colors. She was really brave in her palette use of the purples here up against these golds and these blues. And it just really evokes that whole California feel.
Well, it does, and that's California Gold. That is the gallery that we're celebrating right now. We have that $200 bid. That is terrific news. Now we're looking for a $225 bid to become the next leading bidder on Delta Gold, and neither Dean nor I thinks that you should delay. It's just sublime.
And
I mean, it's
beautiful. She's won awards from the Pastel Society, and those people are pretty tough. She's also a past award winner with the KVIE Art Auction, and we're really proud to have her in this year.
All right, the bidding's at $250. We're looking for $275 and on up. Meantime, I'm going to send that on over to Heath. He is enjoying some target practice.
I am enjoying Judy Kristen's target practice. This piece currently has a bid of $90 on it. You need to call now and place a bid of $100 on it so we can get an auction going. 1-800-270-6601 is the number to call. We've got a great group of volunteers. They're here. They're ready to take your calls of support. And so now is the time to do it. I also want to thank California Love Truck. They provided all of the food for our crew tonight so that we could keep going and make this auction fantastic. We want you to be part of the auction. And the way that you do that is pick up the phone, call and place a bid. You can also join us on our KVIE Facebook page, and you can also tweet with us by using hashtag KVIE Arts. We're also on Instagram at KVIE PBS. We're taking pictures tonight of the behind the scenes stuff. So if you'd like to interact with us online, there's a variety of ways to do it, but we also want you to place a bid in the auction. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen, be a part of this fantastic weekend. And now let's send it back over to Kevin and Dee.
Thanks, Dee. Dee, I'm a little jealous. Heath got to thank California Love Truck. I think you can't thank California Love Truck too much. We are celebrating California and California's gold right now. This one is called Sonoma Landscape. We heard the bell ringer a bit ago. We're hearing the bells ring again, which means that the auction is working. We're raising money for public television, and it's going to be easy with this one because Ron Oshima's piece is just gorgeous.
Ron Oshima's been making art for about 8 years, and it's a good thing because he's doing a great job at it.
Yes, he is.
Pat Mahoney, our California Gold juror, chose this as one of her awards. Again, it's gallery wrapped, which means the artist painted all the way around the edges, so that's why it doesn't have a frame.
Right, and it's about an inch deep, so the folks won't be able to see it at home. He painted right to the edge of the canvas and then around the corner.
Right.
in all directions.
Yes. So it's meant to be, you can look at it from the side and then go around the front. It kind of gives it a little dimension. It's kind of a modern way to paint a traditional painting. One of the things that Pat Mahoney really liked about this was his use, he's just really brave with the yellows and the oranges. And it has a real vibrancy to it. I love these little trees down here where he's got every little leaf deckled in. And then this sort of, the wheat field down here just is almost like a whole separate painting.
Well, and one of the things that I think we should talk about it, and I do want to report back that we've got that high bid of $650, which made it a bell ringer, but we're still looking for a $700 bid to put the next person in the lead and the next owner. Because of its size, Dee, where do you kind of envision it being a suitable fit?
Well, what's nice about a piece this size, especially a larger piece with brighter colors, is it becomes a focal point in your home. It's the piece that goes over the fireplace, the piece that goes over your dining room table, that piece in your entry hall when you first walk in. This on a wall all by itself just makes a room.
Well, and one of the things the camera is capturing right now that I didn't even see when we first looked at the piece, which is that there's a little homestead tucked in there in the middle of the meadow.
It's right up here. There's a whole little farm scene going on with the barn, and there's actually a little bitty back of a car right there. Anyway, it's got a whole little story inside of it too, and it's one of those, oh, don't you wish we lived there kind of things. Here's my big farm and here's my fabulous little house.
But it's actually not a fantasy location. I mean, this is actually was it Morgan Hill area?
You know what?
You might have it in your
notes. Let me look on my clipboard.
I want to report and let people know that we've got a new high bidder at $700. Let's hear a counter bid at $750 and make this thing catch fire.
It's in the Sonoma Valley. This artist does show at the Blue Line Gallery in Roseville. So again, you could walk into a gallery and buy this piece, or you could just call us up right now.
Which is so much easier.
And you can do it in your pajamas.
And you're supporting public television when you do it. We've talked about it before, but every time I stand next to one of these wonderful pieces, I don't have any artistic talent. They do. And lots of the artists don't have a lot of money to contribute to public television. They love public television, but they don't have money. But what they do have is boundless talent. Yeah. And they donate these pieces, taking it on faith that people like you who like those pieces and are able to buy them will call in with a generous bid. Right now we're at $700. We're looking for, I believe, a $750 bid. That would make you the new leader on Sonoma Landscape. And again, celebrating the Sonoma area, just an hour's drive from here in Sacramento, a beautiful, wonderful part of our region.
And this piece is quintessential California gold. I mean, it's what this category is about. It looks like a place that Huell Hauser would have enjoyed visiting. It's got those golds and those oranges. It's a fabulous piece.
All right, well, we're going to keep you posted. $750 is the high bid right now. We're looking for an $800 bid that would make the perhaps next owner of Sonoma Landscape. We'll keep you apprised of all the bidding. Delta Gold is at $400 and still open. I mentioned Sonoma Landscape at $750, and we've moved on to California Seascape, item 6D. It has a $900 retail value, and we're looking for a starting bid of $270. D, when someone calls in and bids $270, what are they in for?
Oh, this piece, first of all, it is a very large piece. I think it's an amazing piece. This artist studied at Washington University, is graduated with a degree in art. So again, a professional practicing artist. Joyce did a beautiful job of the birds. That's my favorite part of this piece, is the birds are so lifelike and they have such movement to them. There's the water crashing on the rocks. I mean, there's so much going on in here, and it's a watercolor. And watercolor people just amaze me. I mean, to be able to paint with something that's that unpredictable and make it look like this is just real talent.
Yeah, she's obviously a huge talent, and she's going to make somebody very happy who calls in. We're looking for that starting bid of $270, all to support the mission of public television. Nature, of course, and celebrating the natural world is a big part of what KVIE does, taking viewers all over the world to see beautiful scenes. And here's a scene right in our backyard. Yeah, you're still just resting. reveling in those
obsessed
beautiful
with the birds.
birds.
Well,
Yeah.
and the fact that she's got them over here, and then she's got this beautiful soaring bird over here. What a beautiful piece to put in a second home. If you have a beach home, put it here in Sacramento, so it'll remind you of a beautiful day at the beach.
Well, it reminds some people of wonderful things. We've got 2 bidders so far. We got that $270 bid. Now we've got a $350 bid. We were at $300. Now we're at $350. We'll be looking for $400 on our way up to the $900 artist's retail value. One of the things that just struck me right away and knocked me out was the motion. How do you make motion on paper? It's incredible.
Well, and the whole, that three-dimensionality on something that we know is flat, but our eye is telling us that it isn't. And she does a wonderful job with it. The spray on the rocks is just, you could almost hear the water hitting those rocks.
You can, and that's how you know that it's good, right? Because it transports you to that place. The high bid right now is $450. We're looking for a counter bid at $500. As I say, on our way closer and closer to the $900
$450. You can't buy a framed poster for $450. This is an original watercolor. You own the only one.
That's a good point. This is an original watercolor. There are none other.
Prints. Yeah, we don't have prints. These aren't prints. Joyce did this especially for us. She chose one of her best works this year. It would have been very easy for her to give us a smaller work that wasn't as expensive, but she chose a big, glorious painting, and I'd like us to see us get that retail price for it.
Well, we've got $550, so we are getting there. We're looking for a $600 counter bid. That would make the person obviously the leading bidder, and we're raising as much money as we can to support public television.
And one of the things I wanted to bring up about this, I've talked about plein air before, how I'm really impressed when artists can stand out and paint on location. This was painted on location. So she stood on a real windy rock. It was a very windy day with her watercolors. And it took her most of the afternoon to do this piece. So, it's probably why she did such a good job capturing the movement. You can almost hear that surf.
And it does matter to me that it is a California seascape. We're celebrating California's beauty in this gallery, and it's a fantastic piece. We'll keep you posted on the bidding. To stay on schedule, we're going to move on to the next item, 6E, which is called Early Morning on the Lake by N.W. Sloan. California's seascape is up to $650, so as I say, we'll keep you posted as we turn our attention to this beautiful, it's oil on canvas, and the use of light is the first thing.
Yeah.
It just hits you.
I love this piece. It's a real traditional painting. It's a real traditional size. It's done in a traditional medium. The artist has a great sense of color. This artist was an award winner when Gregory Kondos, who we just talked about, when Gregory Kondos was our juror in California Gold last year. So the artist does prefer to just go by the initials N.W. Sloan.
Works for me.
Don't ask me what that stands for, just like me and my D. Nobody will ever know. They've studied at San Antonio College and have participated in many auctions.
Well,
so this is not their first one.
We are very grateful to N.W. Sloan for donating this piece. The high bid right now is $200. We're looking for a $225 bid to become the next high bidder on the road toward, we hope, that $450. The first thing that came out of my mouth, I was talking about the light.
Especially up in here, where they've got the brights, and you can see it deckle down off the trees. And there again, we've got the little outbuilding here. Is that a bridge? Yeah, it's a bridge. A little wooden bridge. It's so quintessential California hills. I love that about it.
Well, this region, the region that KVIE serves, has so much natural beauty and so much artistic talent. So as we celebrate the arts and as we celebrate raising money for KVIE, we're also celebrating how beautiful our region is and how talented our people are.
Well, here's one of my favorite facts, Kevin. Sacramento is second only to New York in artists per capita.
But with much less traffic.
Yes, and more trees. So that's what we get. We get better art here in this region than a lot of our neighbors in Southern California. So let's celebrate it by selling
great art and raising money for KVIE Public Television. 2 things to let you know. Early Morning on the Lake, we're looking for a $225 bid. We're at $200. California Seascape is at $850, and I think Heath might want to tell us what's going on over there in the phone bank.
I am. Well, this is California seascape, and one of the things I was remarking on is the color of the water really does remind me of being on the coast, and that wonderful kind of teal color that you see in the water. We're so privileged to be very close to the coast of California, which I think is just one of the most amazing coasts of ever. Right? And you do too. Well, the way that you can bring this home, and thank you, phones are ringing. This is a great window to the coast. Now, we, of course, live quite a bit inland, but if you can't get a chance to travel to the coast every now and again, you can with this on your wall. 1-800-270-6601 is the number to call. We've got a bid of $850 on this. We're $50 away from a bell ringer. You can make it happen with a bid of $900. Let's do it. And now let's send it back over to Kevin and Dee.
All right, thanks, Ethan. When we get that bell ringer sound, it might be for early morning on the lake. The bidding is up to $375 right now. We're getting closer and closer to the $450 artist's stated value. And when someone owns this piece, they're going to own something that's beautiful, that has that sense of peace and serenity, and the wood frame kind of makes you feel a little more like you're there in the woods.
Yeah, no, it's got that nice mission kind of frame on it. What I love about this piece is this is the piece you hang it in your house now, and 20 years from now, the grandkids will be fighting over who gets that little piece that Grandma bought.
All right, there's the bell ringer. It is for early morning on the lake. It is at 4:50, and we hope still climbing. So, if you're at home, you're enjoying this piece, and you think that you might like to have it, don't be the person tomorrow who says, God, why didn't I call this? Why didn't I pony up the next $25? Every dollar supporting public television, that's well worth supporting, and I could have been the one. Yeah. So don't be the person who regrets it.
This could be your family heirloom.
We're at $475, looking for the counter bid at $500. I might just kind of shout over there. Do we know how many active bidders there are on early morning on the lake right now? 3. All right, so it's a 3-horse race right now.
Where's the gavel?
So let's see where this thing goes. We're at $475, looking for a $500 bid. And again, when you make your bid decision, consider the importance of supporting public television. You're not only going to own a beautiful piece, you're going to be supporting Rob on the Road, which takes us to beautiful treasures in our region, just like all of these arts pieces transport us to places in the region. We'll keep you posted. California Seascapes at $850. Early morning on the lake is at $475, and we've already got a $250 bid on this one, item 6F. It's called California Gold, in memory of our dear friend Huell Hauser, whom we lost last year. It is by the artist Gail Rappaport Weiland. She has donated faithfully to KVIE's Art Auction for many, many years. And
both her time and talent.
That's right, and her pieces do well because she is really talented. Talk about the beauty of this year's piece.
What's nice about this year's piece is there's a really lovely inscription on the back, and it was done specifically in memory of Huell. Gail's been a longtime supporter of the auction. I'd say 5 or 6 years ago, she did a California Poppies piece that was incredibly popular. She was the watercolor juror a few years back when Mr. Hauser actually came out to the auction. Remember, that was 2 or 3 years ago? He was such a doll. What a nice man. So Gail did this piece specifically for us, and we'd like to thank her for that. It's beautiful poppies. It's our state flower. For good reason. It's got that great color in it. What's really nice about this California Gold is she actually does have gold leaf overlaid here and there in the poppies, which gives it that little bit of sparkle. So it's got a lot of pop and a lot of sparkle, and it's very typical of Gail's work in the fact that it's got, that originality and that sort of depth that she carries with her work.
Well, it's not going to surprise you much, Dee, to know that it's popular. There are several bidders. We're up to $375. We're looking for a $425 bid to become the next highest bidder and perhaps the next owner of Gail's piece. It has obviously sentimental value for the legions of people, tens of thousands of people whose lives were touched by Huell Hauser.
And still are.
And even standing alone, it's so beautiful.
It's a dramatic piece.
It is. You know who's dramatic? Our pal Heath Buckmaster. So give us some drama, brother.
California landscape.
Well done.
I don't know what that means, other than this is a gorgeous piece and I want you to have it. But we're $50 away from it being a bell ringer. So call now, place a bid of $900, and you will make this piece a bell ringer, and you'll be able to take it home and make it part of your collection. How incredible is that? Was that good enough for you, Kevin? All right, send it back over to Kevin.
That was fantastic.
Yay,
And
Heath.
the only thing that makes me happier than a performance like that is when the phones ring with bids. We've got a $500 leading bid on California Gold in memory of Huel right now. Let's see if we can't get to $550. We just got there. Let's look for a $600 bid. We only have a minute and change left before the evening broadcast concludes, so don't waste time. If you like it, call in your support right now. And let's face it, you do like it. It's very, very pretty. It's a great piece of art.
Yeah, and I do want to mention it's not framed because the artist, it's got a special, it comes off the wall, so it's meant to look like it's floating. It's a very contemporary treatment. Gail did a great job on this piece, and she did it for KVIE, and she wanted us to have that $750.
Well, she
Thank
does
you,
want
Gail.
us, and you can be the person who helps make it happen. We're at $600 right now. We're looking for a $650 bid, and I love to hear those
Me
phones
too.
ringing. California Seascape is still open at 8:50. We're at 6:25. The phones will remain open. Thank you for joining us tonight, and please come on back tomorrow starting at noon when we once again open California's largest art gallery. And please remember, your high bids help ensure quality programming will continue in Northern California's Central Valley. From all of us here at KVIE, we wish you a good night. We'll see you tomorrow for more of the great KVIE Art Auction.